coming up at the end of this week, so in addition to all the drafting we've got going on and the NBA trade news, it's also Heineken Rivalry Week in MLS, which means you've got different teams that are paired up. Not always two teams in the same city, but that is the beauty of being part of MLS in New York. Not only are there the Red Bulls, but there's a relatively new club, NYCFC, which last year drafted number 1 overall, a young player, young forward named Jack Harrison.
Here's a turnover, a chance for New York City. The ball at the top of the box. Harrison shoots, and it's in the net. Jack Harrison, his second goal of the night. New York City lead at 3-2 in the 76th minute. A defensive turnover. The ball loose at the top of the box, and Harrison strikes for his second goal of the game.
I had a chance to catch up with him in advance of Rivalry Week and the game between the two New York clubs that's coming up on Saturday night. And it was really good to pick his brain. Not only was the accent fantastic, but he's a young guy. He's only 20 years old now and is one of the up-and-coming stars in MLS. So I wanted you to hear our conversation. Started out by asking him about his MLS debut, which he made this time last year against the Red Bulls. What do you remember about that game, Jack?
I think we were 5-0 down at the time, so it was a rough game to go into, but at the same time, Patrick just told me to go out and have fun, and that's exactly what I did. I just enjoyed the moment.
Well, certainly a moment that you could never forget, your first MLS minutes. So here you are now a year later, and you're from England, so you're used to passionate football crowds. What have you found out about the soccer fans, as we call it here, the soccer fans in New York?
It's very competitive. I think no matter where you go, as long as it's between the Red Bulls and us, it's going to be a competitive match. It's going to be intense. It's going to be entertaining to watch. I think there's definitely that tension there already. Us being such a young team, we already have that real rivalry between us and the Red Bulls. So it's exciting.
Well, I'm looking forward to attending the rivalry in person for the first time on Saturday night. Can't wait. Jack, your story is unique. You come over to the United States of America as a teenager. You attend school in Massachusetts. You get drafted into MLS. You called it, though, in one of the videos that I saw, the best move of your life. Why is that?
I think not only for soccer, but for life as well. I think I've learned so much being out here, being independent, and the opportunities that I've had and the connections that I've made whilst being out here been incredible. It's been an incredible journey, and I think I say it's the best decision that I've made, not just for soccer but for everything else as well.
So is it hard to get used to calling it soccer instead of football?
It was a while ago, and I kind of got used to it a little bit, and then whenever I get used to it, my friends always make fun of me back home for when I say it, so it's funny.
Well, Americans have the opposite problem, trying to call it football instead of soccer. Jack Harrison is a forward for NYCFC, member of the MLS, getting set for their rivalry against the New York Red Bulls on Saturday night. It's After Hours with Amy Lawrence on CBS Sports Radio. So you leave England, you go to school in Massachusetts, and then boom, you're into the MLS in New York. What was the biggest adjustment to life as a pro footballer?
I guess it just goes back to what I was saying before about being more professional off the field as well, and just trying to take care of my body and take care of myself with my diet and treatments and stuff like that. I think that's been the biggest part of it, really.
Speaking of treatments, at the beginning of last season, you had to miss some time because of injuries. How difficult was that for you to sit and wait until you were fully healthy before you could get back on the pitch?
Yeah, I was itching to get back on the field. Especially after the draft and everything, I was so excited to just get back out there with my new teammates and just kind of show them what I could do, really. So being out for 3 to 4 months was very upsetting, but at the same time, my teammates were very supportive and were always encouraging me to do well and work hard still.
You also talk a lot about your very supportive mom, who is the one who encouraged you to leave England and come to the United States to go to school and try your hand at playing soccer here. I know you've talked about how she was a single mom who raised you, and that's what I had, a single mom for my brother and I. I know how important she was to me. How significant your relationship with your mom in your life, Jack?
Yeah, I mean, she's been my motivation, really. I think it's just been me and her more or less my whole life, and she's the one that got me out here. I wouldn't be here without her, and I definitely wouldn't have all these connections and all these opportunities that I've had so far without her. So I've only her to thank, really.
Well, then how much do you enjoy having her in the United States when she's able to be here and watch you play in person?
Oh, she loves it. She loves it. She has become very friendly with the fans and stuff, and she goes over to the fan section during the games, and she's singing and chanting. She's on the drums and everything. I think she enjoys it more than I do.
That's fantastic. Everybody needs a mother like that, Jack. Jack Harrison is a forward for NYCFC, getting set for the rivalry match with the New York Red Bulls on Saturday night in Harrison, New Jersey. It's After Hours with Amy Lawrence on CBS Sports Radio. A little more about your mom. It was her idea for you to leave England, leave your home, and come to the U.S. to go to school and to play soccer. When she first brought it up to you, what was your initial reaction?
I was really apprehensive at first. I think as a young kid in my United Academy, I didn't really want to leave. I just wanted to, make it to the first team. But looking back, there's only maybe one or two in each age group that make it, and there was about 20 odd kids in our age group. So she helped me to kind of have an open mind about things, and she told me to visit by myself because we didn't have enough money to visit together. So I came and I went to Berkshire School. I stayed there for 5 days with my coach, and I just ended up loving it. And that's, the main reason why I came out here.
Well, so far, so good. Your mom was right. It's After Hours here on CBS Sports Radio with Jack Harrison. You came to the United States from England, where many U.S. soccer players, upper echelon, elite, sometimes would prefer to go over and play in the Premier League, maybe for a team near your hometown like Manchester United. How much would you appreciate the opportunity to eventually play for a team in England?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's everyone dreams of playing, the likes of Premier League and the big leagues in Europe and stuff. So I definitely wouldn't turn them down if they came with an offer. But we'll just have to wait and see. It's an exciting time, and I'd love to go back to Europe and play. But I think the timing has to be right as well.
Well, since you've had a chance to experience football on both sides of the ocean, both at home and now here in MLS, how does the atmosphere, how do the crowds compare here to what you get at home?
I mean, it's definitely different. I think it's a much more friendly environment here in the MLS. Well, in New York, at least anyway, they're still very passionate. They still get really loud. There's not as many fans, but we still get around 25,000 average fans per game, which is just good. And all the fans are very passionate too. And I think it's a lot more friendly. It's more kind of family oriented, I guess. It's always tough when you take kids to like a football game in England. You have to, watch them at all times. Not that you don't here, but I think especially in England. I think here you can maybe enjoy the atmosphere a little bit more.
Well, that's interesting, considering that here in the U.S., I think that there are some fan bases who are known for being extremely angry, maybe about the NFL. So our football. Jack Harrison on Twitter, at Harrison_Jack11. He's part of NYCFC going into Heineken rivalry week against the New York Red Bulls. I can't wait for my first game on Saturday night. Jack, thanks so much for the time.
No problem. Thank you.